Hi, and welcome to another Wisdom Wednesday. You're going to love this one if you've had kids before. Some of you, like Scott, may be a little bit more challenged by the kids aspect of this video, but it's so cool. I mean, this is about as real as it gets. It really is. I had the pleasure of talking to Katarina Pardus, and she is a composer, and we got to talk about inspiration and where the divine jumps in and helps you to create. And in the middle of it, her kids jumped in, and it was amazing to watch because there was such great wisdom coming out of Katarina, and she's sharing all this incredible stuff about strategies to get your brain to cooperate with the creative process while she's being a jungle gym. It was great. It was such a pleasure to speak with her, and I hope you'll enjoy this video. Have a look.
Hey everybody, welcome. I am just jazzed today to talk to Katarina Pardus, and we're gonna talk. God knows what we're gonna talk about, but we're gonna talk, and it's gonna be exciting because I did just read your little blurb about you. You write music?
Yeah, I'm a composer.
Wow. Okay, then I definitely want to hear about that because that's got to be the first question is it's got to be soulful. It's got to just come from your heart.
Yeah, I don't know where it comes from half the time, but it's always an amazing journey. Each different piece of music is so different. Sometimes it comes from something I hear, or sometimes something that I see. I once wrote a song based on a little ditty tune that my 5-year-old was just singing to herself and just having fun. I'm like, I like that. Let's just play with that a little bit, right? But every single song comes from its own place and has its own place, and I love it, and it's really amazing.
That has got to be really cool. How long have you been doing it?
So I've been composing music for around 10 years, maybe a little longer, but I just started my business doing it about 8 months ago.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So for my business, I write music for video games, and I also write original music for brands and businesses and podcasts.
Oh, how
like
neat.
Intros, outros, kind of stuff like that. So that's what I do monetarily for my business, but I compose all sorts of things. I've composed string quartets, I've composed orchestra pieces, piano pieces.
Wow.
Vocal, songwriting things. I've done lots of stuff, so it's fun.
So what instruments do you play then?
I play piano, organ, I sing. I also play melodic percussion like xylophone, marimba, vibraphone.
Uh-huh.
I play hand percussion. I used to be able to play the clarinet, but I have nerve damage in my lip now, so it's something I'm trying to build back up to, but it's really hard. So
wow, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. And when did you start playing? Did you come from a musical family, or how did that begin?
So I'm the oldest of 5 girls, and my mom was self-taught at the piano, but I think she always wished she had piano lessons as a kid, and so she put all of us into piano lessons. I begged my dad to let me start piano lessons when I was 3, and so they let me do that, and just did piano ever since. And as a side note, my mom was able to start taking piano lessons after she put all of us through piano lessons, and she only had one more kid left at home. So at the age of 42 or 43, I think, is when she started taking piano lessons, and she's still taking piano lessons today. And she's at the point now where she can play pieces that I was learning at college for my collegiate repertoire, right? And so never give up on that dream. If you have the dream that you were able to play piano, or that you wish you would have stuck with it or whatever, because I hear that all the time, don't give up on it. My mom, if anything, is just an amazing inspiration for people who never give up on that and are able to have it be a wonderful joy to them later in life.
Yeah.
So Yeah, only one of my sisters really stuck with it, my youngest sister, and she does more violin, viola, cello stuff now, but she also does piano. So
I know that was my next question was who out of the 5 girls, how many of you stuck with the music thing? So the 2 of you.
yeah, 2 of us. The middle child of the 5 of us, she stayed with piano lessons pretty long. She and I used to play piano duets all the time and things, but she doesn't really do it anymore.
Yeah.
My youngest sister plays, like, we just watched her, it's cool, at college, she's at college, and she had an orchestra concert, and they streamed it live, and so she's, like, 2 states away, and we got to sit at our home and watch her orchestra concert, so that was pretty awesome. I love doing that.
Yeah.
So she's still doing some of it. She probably won't do it. She doesn't know what she wants to do with her life. Maybe she will do it professionally like I am, but
yeah,
that remains to be seen. But she keeps doing it, and that's what's fun.
Yeah. I love that you were 3 and begging to take piano lessons.
I wanted it so bad. My dad was like, "You're too young. There's no way. Like, no, we're not going to waste money on that when you're 3. And yes.
I'm reading.
You're sorry. This is my daughter and my son. And
hi, guys.
Somewhere. Where are you bleeding? I don't even see. Oh, it's not really bleeding. Oh, here's my other baby. There we go.
Oh my God. Hello. How are you?
Okay, if you can find one, I don't know where they are, but okay, can you please go back to the playroom? Say, Arjun, come play. Arjun, go play with Ryan. Or are you gonna stay here? Because you just come here. So then, anyways, I was begging to be able to play the piano, and my dad thought I was too young, and then I came home from church one day and started playing a little melody of a song that we sing at church, and my dad said, "Who taught that to you?" I was like, "Dad, we learned it at church." And he's like, "No, but who taught you to play the notes on the piano?" I'm like, "I just liked it, so I'm playing it." And
oh my goodness.
picking melodies out. And I am not a prodigy by any means. I just really love music. So
why
was
do
just
you say
always
you're
part
not
of
a
who I was.
prodigy?
What?
Why do you say you're not a prodigy?
Because I think I learned at the normal rate as normal people do. I don't know. Like I wasn't playing concertos by the age of 5.
Oh, you weren't Mozart, so you're not a prodigy.
No, right.
Okay,
yeah.
I got it. Okay.
I wasn't writing songs that are like I wasn't writing full orchestral pieces at the age of 9, like certain composers were and things like that. I learned at the normal rate. I was just very passionate about it at a young age.
That's so cool. I just love that. You came in with that desire.
Mm-hmm.
How neat. I took piano lessons. I think I was 6. I also took accordion lessons and was really bad.
That's okay.
It's okay. I found my talent elsewhere and it was fine. But my mom always tells this story about how we had because we were, my brother was sang in choir and he had friends who were musical. My brother's like 10 years older than I am. And she says that, when I was learning how to learn, like one of the first pieces you learn is like through a wigwam or something with the wigwam, and you use like 2 little fingers to play it. And one of his friends came over who was gifted with the piano, and I was trying to show him what I was doing, and he gets out there and he's all, being all creative with it. And I'm like, no, that's not how you do it.
Do it right.
Do it right. It's the 2 fingers. Because, at 6, we know so much.
Oh, I know. It's so true.
It's so cool. So are your kids musical? Are they going to follow in your footsteps, or do they?
I don't know. They can do whatever they want.
Good.
But they will not be taught by me.
Oh, okay.
I really would love to find a piano teacher in the area that has kids where we could swap piano lessons. I've been teaching piano lessons for 15 or 16 years now. And if we could swap, that would be like the best thing ever. I just haven't been able to find someone who's able to do that yet. But because my daughter will not learn from me. It doesn't matter what it is. It's not just music. she is right and she is the one with the ideas, and I am never the one with the right answers or the ideas when it comes to her. And so it's just a personality thing. I think I could probably teach my sons if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
They love music, they love dancing. Every time I start composing, it's like all of a sudden they're interested in what I'm doing. Like they could have been ignoring me all day long, and then as soon as I start playing the piano, they're like, gravitate to it, right? And so they love it, and the love is there. But I think that like they have a good sense of rhythm. They have all the things. I mean, I think every kid has all the things that you would need in order to start learning music in one respect or another. But I'm not gonna push it on them. I'd like for them to learn at least a little bit of the piano, not just so that they can play the piano, but just so, because it really does influence so much of what you do. If you do any kind of music anywhere, piano is the best foundation because it applies to everything. You learn how to read treble clef and bass clef, so no matter what instrument you're playing, you know how to read the notes. Right. And it's just such a good foundation for posture and how to think about music and how to process music and knowing how different parts work together and so many things. And it just really helps your brain development, I think. So I'd love for them to be able to do that, even if they don't stick with it. But
yeah, and
it remains to be
like
seen.
Learning music is teaching you fractions and lots of math and there's so much a part of your brain, I would imagine, that's totally ignited.
Yeah, it's really amazing, all of the scientific studies that show what music, especially piano, does for your brain. So fun fact, I actually have brain damage. I had a stroke when I was an infant, and so there's a part of my brain that is complete scar tissue and just is not functional. But back in the 80s, they didn't really know what brain plasticity was and that your brain could actually learn things, like, because if you have something here in your brain where it's supposed to be able to do this thing for your body, that's where that function comes from. It can be relearned in other places when that gets damaged, and we know about that now, but when I was a baby they didn't know that, and so they thought that I was going to be retarded, and they thought it'd be a miracle if I even graduated high school and all of these things, right? I graduated high school, I graduated college, I'm a functioning adult with no issues or side effects or whatever, I don't know. I mean, I noticed that I think different, but I think other people think different. So I don't think it's that special or amazing. Yeah. But I really did connect with music, and if you could, I hated math. I was terrible at math, and my dad didn't understand because of what you said. Music teaches you fractions, it teaches you math. I did not see the connection at all. I couldn't get it. But if you sang me my times tables, I could sing my times tables, and I could learn it that way. Yeah.
I'll sing this pig with all of your milkers and dope pictures.
Okay. Can you please pick him up and take him out of my room and close my bedroom door?
But he's too heavy.
Well, ask Shaniel to help you. And close my bedroom door so that he can't go in there, please. Thank you. I had it closed before we talked, but you know, they can open doors. So but yeah, if you could sing me something, I would learn it because I was singing it, right? Or if I would go and I would play chords on the piano and repeat my math facts. And that's how I learned my math facts, was because music was involved somehow. Nice. That's just how my brain connected things, was through music.
Interesting. Do you need me to pause the recording for a second while you...
Yeah, sure. I'll do it now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we're back.
Sorry. Real life, people.
No worries at all. I've had 3 boys, and just when you think
everything's fine.
Yeah, not. My favorite was one time, and we'll just share this on YouTube and Facebook because it's so fun to talk about. But I remember one time I took the twins to Barnes and Noble with me so I could pick out a journal. And they were probably 4, and it's all quiet, Barnes and Noble and everything like that. And I'm standing there staring at the wall, kind of not really paying attention to my toddlers who are running all over the place. And one of them opened the fire door.
Oh no.
And I'm like, shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. So, I mean, how old is your oldest child?
He's 6.
So 3 kids under 6.
6, 3, and 18 months.
Wow. Well, that's bless your heart is what we're going to say, is bless your heart.
It needs it.
Right?
It needs those blessings.
Right. So you get to stay at home with them then, or?
Yeah, so I stay at home and I work from home and I'm building my business from home, and my husband goes to work and supports us, and it works really great. I feel really blessed that I get to be home with them.
It is. I mean, yeah, I stayed home with my kids till they were, I think the twins were 7. And then I worked at their schools. So I started the Montessori school for them, and then I worked at their school till, like, by the time they got to be sophomores in high school, they're just like, Mom, seriously, go do something else.
Go live your life.
Just work anywhere, but don't stop. Just go away. Okay. So It comes to me to ask you about music in your pregnancy. Did you play music to the babies when you were pregnant with them, or that was just part of your life? So that's part of being in the womb and feeling that? How did that work?
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't have a piano in my home, but I've always been really blessed to be close to church buildings that I worship at, and within walking distance for the past number of years. And so I've been able to walk over and practice the piano at the church buildings and things. And that's been really wonderful for me. And so, yeah, they heard me practice the piano, practice the organ. I'm sure they heard me singing. I sing all the time.
Yeah.
Whether music that I write or music that other people have written,
Yeah.
We're a dance party family. Like, we'll randomly have dance parties in our living room because it's time for a dance party. I mean, we gotta have that at least every other day. Yeah, when I was pregnant with my 3-year-old, I think, I started writing a lullaby song that I wanted to be able to sing to all of my kids as they grew up. And so they asked for that every night before bed, and I love singing it to them. And so it's always just been a part of my life, and so it's been a part of theirs.
Yeah, and it touches your soul, doesn't it? It's just, I feel like the next question is obviously, where does, we started talking about where that composition comes from, but it is almost like a channeling. Is it? I mean, when I write, I get in the zone and I just don't even know what's coming out of me. How does that work for you?
Yeah, it can be similar. Sometimes it's like pulling teeth. Sometimes it's just like, come on, each individual note is a struggle, and I am going to survive this struggle to get this song out, right? There have been some pieces that, like one collection, it's a 3-movement piece, took me 7 years.
Wow.
I think, to finally get it done on paper. And so now it's all on paper, and only last month I finally got it all recorded and in an MP3 format where people can hear it. And that one was it was something that was really important to me, but it was just a struggle getting it out. I felt like the first movement was amazing and was so easy, and it just all came perfectly. And then after that, it was hard work, Ryan.
Hi, Ryan. That's smart.
And then it was just hard work getting the rest of it out there. Okay, you need to go away, please.
Yeah.
But then there's other times, like this one time comes to mind where, oh no, are you still there?
Yep, still here.
Okay, sorry, he just bumped my computer and the image went away. This one piece comes to mind where I was living in Romania at the time, and I was serving a mission for my church, and it was wonderful and it was amazing and I loved it. And then there was 2 other missionaries that I knew, and they passed away with carbon monoxide poisoning, and it was really hard. But we held a memorial service for them there, and one of the other missionaries that I knew, he had one of the most amazing singing voices I've ever heard. I love his voice. And we had done music together before throughout our mission trip, and I would play the piano for him and he would sing, and we had done it multiple times. And at the time we were on opposite ends of the country, but he called me and said, hey, for this memorial, I want to sing this song, and here are the words, and here's the key it's in. Can you write music for it? Because he didn't have piano music for it. And he was like, here's all the key changes, and this is what they do. I was like, okay, you know that the memorial is in like 42 hours or something like that. He's like, yeah, I know, but they asked me to sing, and this is what I want to sing. Can you do that? I was like, okay. And I remember just like praying.
Mom, do the spider.
Okay, just cover it with a toy and I'll get it later. Okay.
Okay.
I just kneeled down and I prayed, and I was like, please help me find a way to write music. I had never written something with such a short amount of time before, ever, at that point. And I was like, this is something that I really want to touch people's hearts and help them be okay with the sadness and be okay with the grief, and to still feel hope, you know, because the emotions for me are the most important thing about writing the music, is that it isn't just something fun to listen to, although sometimes there is that, but that there is always an underlying emotion that I want people to feel, and I want to know how to convey that emotion so that it's not just me feeling it, because I know that it's supposed to be there, right? But helping other people be able to participate in that emotional connection, to me, is the most important part of music. And to be able to say things that words can't say is what music is able to do for everyone, no matter what language you speak, no matter if you've ever met before, it doesn't matter. Music can connect people that way, and that's what I really wanted, because there's going to be a lot of, there were over, I'm trying to think, I think at the time there were a little over 200 of us missionaries there, and we were all going together for this memorial, and we hadn't all been together before. We had been together in groups, but never as an entire whole like that before. And so I really just wanted it to be an accepting, grieving connection where people would be okay to still express that love and still have hope, but know that it's not a bad thing to be sad and feel grief, right? Because we don't ever want to shame people for feeling grief and for being upset, because it was a really upsetting thing at the time.
Sure. Yeah.
It was a really hard thing. And anyways, after I prayed, I sat down, and the music was just there, and it just note by note it was almost like angels were handing it to me.
Yeah.
Like, okay, now that one and this would go together really well. And it turned out beautifully, and I was just so grateful that I knew that I hadn't written all of that music. Like, I was the medium through which it was written and through which it was played, and then Chris was able to sing it and sing it wonderfully. And it really was just such an amazing experience where, you know, that music really was just given to me from not me. And so there's everywhere and in between from that. I've had that experience more than once. After my call, okay? So I've had that experience more than once. Sometimes I feel it coming from me, directly from me, and it's something that I am creating, you know, with help and direction and guidance. There's always that it's never my work alone, right? The divine is always a part of it, because music is a divine thing.
Yeah.
And so, and then other times it's a struggle, but that doesn't happen as often. It happens as often in any art, I think, where, you know, you can't just create art when you feel like it. That's not how art works.
No.
You need to learn how to make art in all situations.
I know, and it's like in those situations when it's like pulling teeth, you're just like, oh, come on.
Like, I've done this so many times before. Why?
You helped me before. What the hell?
So
yeah.
But in those times, it's really about, I love asking the question, why is it a struggle? Like, most of the time, I find that when I'm struggling with it, it's because I'm totally terrified of the project. I'm so scared of it. It's like, I don't know why I'm scared of it. Like, this kind of sounds funny. I'm scared of writing music, right? This is what I do. This is what I live for. It's my love. And then you get to this project and you're like, oh my gosh, oh my goodness, I can't do this. You know? And it terrifies you. So overcoming that fear is so important.
How do you do it?
Yeah, you need to join my call, and then afterwards we go play outside.
Hi, Ryan.
Close the door and stay there. 10 more minutes, okay? I promise. 10 more minutes. Go. And thank you. So how do I do that? Recognizing the fear and saying thank you to it is probably my first step, because when your brain gets scared, it's because it's trying to protect you.
Right.
Like, biologically speaking, fear is a protector. It is trying to help you not deal with things that you don't want to deal with. Pain, sadness, regret, anxiety, all of these things. It's just, that's the fear is the bubble that's trying to keep those things out from you. So saying thank you, but I don't need you right now, right? I'm okay. I can handle this. A lot of times I use visualization where I'll close my eyes and I will name the fear or the doubt, you know, self-doubt, thank you, but I don't need you right now, you may leave. You know, and I ask them to leave, and then I imagine like these little, like everything inside me is dark, and then I imagine these little doors opening, like just light coming through this little door, and they leave, and then the door closes, and then the light turns on, and I allow the light to turn on inside of my mind, and then I picture what it will feel like when it's all done, and I will picture the water flow of creativity, like the waterfall of creativity just flowing and overflowing me and my bucket and my capabilities and all these things, and then I picture me sitting down at my workplace and just getting it done, and then I open my eyes and I get it done. Sometimes I have to do that multiple times. You know, it's never, sometimes it's a one-time thing. There are times that I use affirmations along with it. You know, I am a creative genius and the world needs my art. You know, that's not always true. I do not always feel like a creative genius, okay? And it is,
because you're not a prodigy, so how could you possibly be?
Right? And you know, just like there is divine help, there is the opposite side of that, and there are always opposing forces, because there's opposites in everything in life. And so there's the opposing force that does not want me to create art, because it does not want me to bless people's lives, and it does not want me to believe in myself and to enhance my talents and all these things. And so you know that there's that opposing force to everything. And so yes,
I mixed in the color. So I put pink on one, and then I put light blue on it, and it made, and guess what it made?
What?
Dark blue.
Oh my goodness, that's so cool. Okay, now go to the playroom and you can show me it later. Oh, thank you for the hug, Archie. So knowing that that opposing force is out there, for me, recognizing that helps me, because it knows that I'm not fighting me, right? It's not I fighting me, it's I am fighting it. And separating it from myself, instead of saying I'm terrible at this, because that's what the opposing forces want me to feel, right? I'm terrible, I suck, I can't learn this project is too big for me, right? All of that, I'm able to separate myself from it and say, you know, I am not my abilities. I enhance my abilities, but my abilities do not define me, nor do they define my art, because they're constantly growing, they're constantly changing, they're constantly evolving. And so saying, I can improve at this, you know, I am still trying. And a lot of times when you have that voice that says, you can't do it, and then you mimic and say, I can't do this, right? It's such an easy thing to mimic. It's like a little kid who's learning how to talk, and they hear something and so they say it, right? That's exactly what it is, because it's speaking to your spirit. It's not all in your mind. It's from spirit to spirit. And so knowing that you can reframe that. When it's like, I can't do this, it's like, yes, I can do this, and I am doing it. I am doing it right now. So an example of this, not music related, I am not a good runner. I'm not, but I run, and I'm actually training for my second half marathon. It's in 6 weeks or something like that. And there are so many times when I am running and it's like, I can't finish this. There's no way. I cannot even come close to doing this half marathon. It's like, I'm only running 5 miles today and I'm at mile 2 and I'm dying, right? How am I supposed to get to 13 miles? Well, first of all, stop thinking about what you're not doing yet, because I was not running 13 miles that day. So don't think about it. Like, that's way too far. Think about what I'm doing right now, and then know that, of course you can do that. I'm doing it right then. The fact that I was running meant that I was doing it, right? When I am running, it's like, I am doing this. I'm doing it right now, so shut up. Go away. Right? Leave me alone. You don't know what I can and cannot do, because I am doing this right now. It is happening.
Yeah.
I haven't finished it yet, but I also haven't stopped yet, right? So just keep going, keep doing it, because I am doing it, so leave me alone.
Like, you're not the boss of me.
Right? Well, okay, you go find it. Thank you.
I don't want to.
And then you don't need to. Go do something. So just all of those recognitions that it is separate from me. I am not fighting myself. I am fighting it. I am fighting the opposition. It is separate from me. And that then that also means that the intuition and the guidance and inspiration that I am receiving is also separate from me. And sometimes that's wonderful, because I know that when I don't feel like creating, or when I don't know what to create, I know that I can rely on that power and seek for it, and it will come to me, because it's not in me. It's not like it's a dormant thing that I turn off and on. What?
I'm the tech to have.
Just a minute. I'm talking. Can you wait this time?
You can wait.
And knowing that it's not like it's not working today, right?
Yeah.
It's not like I'm broken. My intuition and guidance is not broken. It's just I haven't done my seeking yet. And so then I can go to this other thing that's on the outside of me and say, you know, this is what I need right now. I am ignoring the opposition, and I am seeking this, and I'm choosing this, and it is a conscious effort, and it is work, and I'm working for it just by trying. And it comes. And it comes more easily the more you try. Why? I just cleaned them.
Yeah.
Get off my lap so that I can clean them. And so then just knowing that I am a part of it, that maybe it's not part of me, like my abilities are part of me, they don't define me, but they're part of me, and knowing that the passion is a part of me, and the desire, that's all me. All of those are the things that I control, and being accountable to those things that I control. You know, when I'm not, when I choose to give in and say, oh, I can't do this, I guess I just won't do it today, that was me giving up my control. That was me giving up my power. And remembering that, to me, is really empowering. It's like, I'm not going to do that. Why on earth would I give up the power that I have to create amazing music that I absolutely love doing? Why would I ever do that? Like, no, that's crazy talk, right? If somebody were to say, oh, just give up your power to me, no would be the first answer that comes to your mind, right? Anyone. 3-year-olds, right?
Yeah.
They're the best example of this in the world.
Yes, they are.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
For that.
I
right?
should not
If
be
you
reinforcing
ask him,
that, but it's so funny.
If you ask him, just give me your choices. I'll just tell you exactly what to do and when to do it. No, they're not going to do that ever. As shown right here, right? I keep asking them to go do something else that I can be on this call. No, I do what I want, right? They're not going to relinquish their power. They're not going to let someone else take care of it for them. They have to do everything by themselves, and it has to be their idea. Please stop kicking my computer, right? That is not okay. And that's how they learn. Is by using the power that they have. And it's the same with us. Just as adults, we forget.
Yeah.
We forget that we have those powers. Oh, yeah, do you see your one fish shirt? One fish.
One fish.
And then on the back, 2 fish.
2 fish. That's so cool.
So, anyways, those are some of the things that I use. Oh, the other thing that I have found to be really extremely powerful when I'm scared of the art I'm making or when I need to overcome the doubts that I have is gratitude. Please don't yell in my ear, that hurts.
Yeah.
Whenever you are feeling like you're in a creative slump, I love you so much too. Whenever you're feeling like the creativity is not there, whenever you feel like you don't have what it takes, being able to find a gratitude practice that works for you and then employing it is one of the best ways to recharge your creativity, because it helps stabilize the happy chemicals and things in your brain that are not balanced at the time, because when you say I just can't do this, or I'm so tired, and all of these things, that means that something is out of balance. And gratitude has been proven to be one of the best ways to recharge all of those chemicals. It awakens your motivation. It awakens your sense of possibility, because you're remembering these powerful things that have already worked. And you're remembering, yeah, I'm the jungle gym.
You're doing great.
So, and all of these things that, can you do flips off the couch right there, please, instead of on me?
Mommy, watch me.
Okay, I'm watching. Perfect, I love that, that's so fun. Just do that over and over. And
I know this may be making you crazy, but I'm just laughing and having such a great time.
oh, they're entertaining. I know. They know when I'm on a call like this that they can usually get away with more than what they normally can.
Exactly. I just have to bless you, your heart. I bless you. That's so fun.
So, some gratitude practices that have really helped me. I love writing it down. Just finding one thing in the day that made you have a yay moment. Just, yay, this was awesome. I love this. And it can be about something specific. When my daughter was 3, I had a really hard time being a mom. And I have about a year and a half of yay mommy moments. Things that made me happy to be a mom, even though I hated it and I was having the hardest time. I have a year and a half of daily things that made me happy to be a mom, even if sometimes it was, oh, my baby snuggled me while I cried.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. Or, hooray, she only yelled at me 5 times instead of 5 times. Or whatever it was, right? I mean, sometimes there are really great and precious things in there. Sometimes it was a struggle to find. But just writing down something that made your heart say yay. That can be something great. Writing things down is so great, because not only can you go back on it and remember it that way, but when you write things down, it stays with you longer.
Right.
And it almost makes it a physical manifestation, because sometimes the things that we're grateful for are not physical things. Right. But when you write it down, it becomes a physical thing, and our brains remember physical things better than ethereal things, except emotion. Emotion is the only other thing that is more tangible to our brains than a physical manifestation of something. So you have that. Another thing that I love doing are gratitude burpees. So a burpee is when you jump up and then you get down and you do a push-up and then you jump back up again, right? And that's one burpee. And so thinking of something that you're grateful for with each burpee, it gets your heart pumping. It gets you, it's almost like a rapid shot. Boom, boom, boom. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for this. Because you're just trying to go as fast as you can. And that's kind of fun. If you need something more relaxing or something less strenuous for your body, gratitude sun salutations are great. Just a sun salutation, yoga flow, just a short one, your mountain pose, go down into downward dog, upward dog, downward dog, back up. That's one, and those ones you're able to reflect and actually savor the thing that you're grateful for during that thing. And so, mix of both with whatever it is that you need. Can you be a little softer, please? Thank you. He wants you to flip up. There you go. Arjun, what's wrong? Okay, you're fine. So those are probably my 3 most used gratitude practices that I do. Shh, don't yell, please. There have actually been, there was one time, probably a month ago, that I was at a game jam. And a game jam is where you have 24 to 48 hours, depending on the jam. This one was only 24, but most of them are 48. And you get into teams, and you have that amount of time to create a video game from start to finish. And at the end, you present it to judges. So I was at this game jam, and we had 24 hours to create a game, and I was writing music for 2 of the teams. And it was really fun, and it was super awesome. And in the middle of the jam, I got a phone call that just really took me out of my game. Like, it was one of those phone calls that you're like, what? Why is this happening right now? Like, it totally shook my mental capacity for this jam that I was doing. And I was like, okay, I only have like 10 hours left to get all of this done. Like, we're just working really hard, and it was really intense. And after that phone call, I just could not think. I could not think clearly. I could not get back into the music that I had been writing just 3 minutes earlier. And I was like, okay, what can I do to reset? And I was like, gratitude burpees. And I went, and we're like in this like co-ed shared workspace thing. So it was the jam and probably 4 other work teams doing whatever they were doing, right? And I just go into the middle of this space, and I just started doing burpees. And it was like the weirdest thing I've probably ever done. Like the most public place I've ever done burpees. And I was in like dress clothes, not like a dress, but I was in slacks. And Arjun, don't touch that. Right, because it was a work event, so I was dressed nicely. I wasn't dressed to work out or anything, and I just kicked my shoes off, and I think I did just like 5 or 6 of them. But man, it worked so good. Like, who cares what anyone else was thinking? I was able to sit down and get right back to work almost immediately after I was done with that, because my brain was reset. I was back into a mode of what I wanted to do. I had an idea of what needed to get done, and I was able to do it. So sometimes it can work really fast and easy for you like that, like especially if you've been practicing, if you've been doing it consistently. The more consistently you do something, the more able your brain is to switch on a faster way, because it has that pathway that has been etched in deeper and deeper and deeper. So like if you clench up when you have pain, like my sister does this, she has the hardest time with breathing through pain. Yeah. Like, if you breathe through pain, it's so much better. She's like, I just can't do it. I just don't know how to do it. It's like, then you need to practice when you are not in pain. When you are not in pain, you need to practice breathing and how you want to breathe when you are in pain. And that's what, I mean, I've done that for years. I've practiced breathing so that when I am in pain or when I'm stressed or anything, I know how to breathe. And my brain just knows, you need to breathe, and it starts breathing. And I don't even need to think about it anymore, because it's such a practice thing. That's what habits are, right?
Right.
Is when the neural pathway is deep enough that we're able to rely on our habits or our intuition of something that we just don't even need to think about anymore. We can just do it. And that works for so many things. It works for the music that I write. It works for, that's why having a consistent place to
Sunrise.
A sunrise.
Moonrise.
A moonrise. You want to show her the pretty picture you've been coloring? I think she would love that. Go ahead.
Oh, that's nice. Good job. You colored that?
Well, so this is a card, and then the parts in the black part is what she's been coloring.
Oh, good job.
She only colors the white color.
Nicely done.
My computer, please.
Mommy,
I love that. It's like, can you color all of these flowers in now? I want you to see what they look like when you're done, okay?
Okay. I'll color in the one in the white.
So having a consistent workspace, and it can work against us too. Like a lot of times when I need to take a break from working, I'll stand up and I'll automatically go to my pantry and eat a snack that I don't need. It's just habit, right?
Yeah.
So habits are just so much in there, but there's a way to break those. Ryan, no, please turn that off. We're not playing that right now. That one is too loud. Oh, I know. But there's ways to change that, because recognizing that you have a cue, every habit has a cue, And then you have the action, which is what we always recognize, right? I always go and get a snack, or I start breathing, or whatever it is. And then you have a reward. And the cue and the reward are the things that are not seen, because the reward is usually an emotional response or an emotional trigger in your brain.
Mommy, can I finish that type?
In 5 minutes. So go get your shoes on. And so, and then the cue, it's almost hard to, but you can pin that down, but it's usually something that is so subconscious. Standing up off the couch, and then you walk into the pantry, right? I mean, it's something that's really subconscious. Like, why do I go to the pantry every time I get off the couch, or whatever it is? But recognizing that, you don't change the cue. You can't change the cue, because I'm gonna be standing up off the couch eventually. So it's all about changing the action, the trigger, right?
Yeah.
So being able to recognize, okay, today I am not going into the pantry, and not because I don't want to. If you say, oh, I don't want to snack, you're lying to your brain, and your brain knows it, and it won't work.
Right, exactly. Exactly, because your brain doesn't recognize not. It thinks snack.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, that's not a jump rope.
Mommy, look at
And so,
he had his glasses on his head like this.
oh my goodness, that's so cute. Oh. Mommy, why did you not come over? So your brain doesn't recognize when you lie to it. When you say, I don't want a snack today. Like, I don't want to snack today. Yes, you do. And that's okay. It's okay to own up to it and say, yeah, I totally want to do this thing that I know I should stop.
Yeah.
That's okay. So what you say is you need to decide that it's not worth it to you anymore.
Right.
Like if you're trying to eat more healthy, or you're trying to manage your time better, instead of saying, I don't want to go on Facebook today. Yes, you do. Just stop that right now. We all know you're lying, and so do you. So just saying, today I have things that matter more to me than Facebook, or today my body is more important to me than the snacks I'm going to eat. And then when you're able to tell your brain it's not worth it to me anymore, your brain is able to make that change and say, oh, it doesn't want that reward more than this, right?
Yeah.
When it perceives that the pain, or the guilt and shame or whatever that you have later, as long as that's less than the reward it perceives you have right away when you succumb to that thing that you want, then it's going to do the thing that you want. But if it realizes, oh, the thing that you want is not as important as this reward that you want later, then it'll wait for the reward that you're going to get later. Like, the brain is such an amazing thing. I love it.
It is. It is.
And so knowing how to talk to your brain, I think, is one of the most important things that you can learn in order to overcome those fears and those doubts, and find whatever works for you, because everyone is different. Like, I think I gave you probably 8 or 9 things that you can think about of, how can I adapt this to myself? Because this is something that I've really focused on learning how to do, because it is so fundamental to me creating my art, because there are always so many obstacles. 3 of them you've seen a lot today.
Yeah.
But even with that, I am my own worst enemy. And so if I don't find ways to overcome myself, or overcome the opposition that I remove from myself, then I'm never going to be able to create art.
Right.
And then I won't feel fulfilled, and I won't have the joy that I am seeking for every single day. And oh, thank you. We're not gonna watch that movie on my phone right now. Thank you. And all of these things that I want to have in my life, right? I'm so much happier when I have written music that day.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, the day is so much better because
Right.
I wrote music.
Mm-hmm.
In some way, right? Even if it's just editing music I've already written or whatever. Being creatively fulfilled makes the day so much better. And yet I let all of these little things get in the way of it. And so learning how to overcome all those little things and teach your brain what is most important so that it can focus on those most important things
Yeah.
is how you're able to overcome that. And that's how you learn how to channel it through you, is because you've learned how to overcome all the obstacles that would block that.
Right. Right. Well, wow. I'm like, the fact that you can even like stop and then come back to the conversation right where you picked up and then go back. I'm like,
I hope it's not too distracting for the people watching.
oh no, I think I'm going to have to go take a nap, but I'm fine.
Me too. I promise. Me too.
Oh my God. Yeah, I remember. I do. I just remember those days, and I've had conversations, you know, now that I'm in my 50s about how having young children is for young women. Because, wow.
Yeah.
But no, I loved all your points, and I know you got to get the kids to the park and get them out in the sunshine and get them out to play. But
So that I stopped being the jungle gym.
right. Yes.
They need
Although
something.
you make a good jungle gym, I gotta say. I mean,
you.
you're pretty talented at it.
I have 6 years of practice now.
Yeah, exactly. But no, those were halfway through the whole thing, I was just getting chills because it's such incredible wisdom. And so now I'm off to go listen to your music because wow. I can't wait to listen to it and hear your creations. So.
Thank you. Yeah, you can find me on YouTube or SoundCloud. Everything is under my business name, which is Koi Compositions, COY Compositions, 2 words, right? Koi Compositions. That's my business name, and so I have a YouTube channel there that I need to revamp a little bit so that I can put more music there more frequently. I'm working on that. Yeah. I also have a Patreon. Do you know what Patreon is? So Patreon is like a Kickstarter campaign, kind of, but it's perpetual and it's for artists. So people can choose to become my patron. Basically, that's why it has the name Patreon, because it's like the patrons of old that help support people create their art. So you can choose to pledge a certain amount that you pay then monthly when I create something, and you get my creations.
Oh, nice.
So the songs that are on YouTube, you can get a download of them for being my patron. I think it's at $5 a month right now. Like if you pay $5 a month, you get my downloadable MP3 2 weeks before it's out on YouTube, and it's yours to keep, right? There's no other anything else, and there's lots of other fun things that happen with it. And I have a new Patreon piece coming out today. So around 7 o'clock at night, Mountain Standard Time, there's going to be new ones. So if you want it, then you can go and you can pledge before then.
Nice.
And be able to get that piece. So I have that, and that's another way that people can find me.
Cool. Well, you have a blast at the park. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, it's been so fun.
Navigate and hearing about the brain, because it is fascinating.
It is. Yes.
And I love your tips. So
thank you
so much.
I know, it's okay.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed that video. Wasn't it great? Join me next week when we're talking with Kelly Ray Brown, coach extraordinaire and one of my favorite, absolutely tell it like it is kind of women. I really enjoyed my talk with her. If you need to catch more of me or more of what's going on, you can check me out on yonderstar.com. And certainly take a look at my classes at the yonderstar.com/intuition. And of course, you can always welcome to join my Facebook group. That's facebook.yonderstar.com. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.